Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of The Conversation. Now, today I got a pretty interesting episode for you guys. And the question is Kendrick Perkins crazy for saying that Pascal Siakam is better than Paul George? So that's what I'm going to get into in this video today. But before we get into it, make sure you guys go ahead and hit the like button. We're trying to get to as many likes as possible for every single video that we upload on YouTube. Again, also, if you guys haven't checked out the Dreamerspro Podcast, make sure you check out the Dreamerspro Podcast. It's in the description below, as well as the Dreamerspro Short Clips channel that we also have linked in the description below. So make sure you guys go out and check that out. So let's get back into the topic today. Now, I was recently, watching ESPN the other day, and we're all going through this lockout and all of these different hypothetical conversations that have been going on, and these analysts, let's say, have been having on a plethora of different things. And somehow I was listening to, I believe the show was Get Up, and they had Kendrick Perkins on there and some other people on there who I don't remember their names. But anyway, the topic came up of Pascal Siakam and Paul George. And in this soundbite, Kendrick Perkins basically explains to you why he would pick Pascal Siakam over Paul George. So before I go too far into it, just take a listen to what Kendrick Perkins had to say about the reason why he would rather have Pascal Siakam over Paul George. So take a listen to that soundbite.
I'm all with y'all. I don't want people to think that I'm not a Paul George fan. I am. But when you talk about Pascal Siakam and you talk about what he's done over the last 2 years, let's not act like it hasn't been something that's it's been amazing and something for to watch. So we're talking about the most improved player, and we're talking about a guy who has become was a certified Robin on a championship team. He was a certified second option to Kawhi Leonard on the championship team. And when you look at Siakam, he's versatile. He gets better every year. He gets better by the game. Think about it. He had 32 points in game 1 of the NBA Finals, right? The biggest stage in the NBA, and he shined like new money. You hear me? But look, go back to it. Think about this. Paul George, 2 years ago, he went into Utah in a game 7 or whatever, and when he was in OKC against the Utah Jazz and had 5 points.
He was hurt. He was hurt.
No, not 2 years ago. He was hurt.
2 years ago, he was hurt 2 years in a row.
Okay, so that makes it even better that he's been hurt, so he's injury prone. So right now, I got to take the guy that's more durable. And then on top of that, have we forgot that Siakam was an all-star starter this year in the Eastern Conference? 24 points, 7.5 rebounds. And then on top of that, he got his team number 2 in the East without Kawhi and Danny Green.
Now, in this clip, you can clearly hear Kendrick Perkins giving his reason as to why he prefers Pascal Siakam over to Paul George. Now, for me, I completely and utterly disagree with that. I would not want Pascal Siakam over Paul George. Maybe the only argument one could make for wanting to have him is because he's younger, because I believe Paul George is 30 years old. He just turned 30 years old. And Pascal Siakam is 26 years old. If we're talking about an argument of youth who's younger moving forward, I guess you can make that argument. But if we're looking at both of these players for who they are and what they are at this present moment, I would choose to have Paul George over Pascal Siakam. Now, Pascal Siakam is no slump. I think he's a 2-time All-Star, and just last year, he won the Most Improved Player of the Year award. He's an NBA champion in 2019 with the run that he had with Kawhi Leonard and the Toronto Raptors. He's been a 1-time All-Star, and he's really had to improve himself over the years. I mean, he's been playing for 4 years, but in his first year as an NBA player, Pascal Siakam averaged 4.2 points a game. He shot 50% from the field. He got you 3.4 rebounds and 0.3 assists his first year in Toronto. His second year, he improved to 7 points a game. He got you 4.5 rebounds and 2 assists. In his third season, he got more minutes, so obviously his production went up. He went from playing 20 minutes a game to now playing 31.8 minutes a game. And in that season, he averaged 16.9 points a game. He shot 55% from the field, so he was really efficient. He shot 37% from the three-point line. he got you 6.9 rebounds, 3.1 assists per game. And this season, currently, he's averaging, well, first of all, he's playing 35.5 minutes a game, so his minutes are up again, but he's a young dude, so he can do that. He's shooting 45%, 46% from the field, so his field goal percentage dropped by 10%. He's shooting 36% from the three-point line. He's getting you 7.5 rebounds and 3.6 assists. So these are the numbers that Pascal Siakam is putting up this season. Now, if we look at Paul George, on the other hand, Paul George is a 6-time All-Star. He's been on 1 All-First NBA team in 2019. He's been on 4 All-Second teams. And so he's been on 5 All-NBA teams, been on 2 All-First defensive teams and 2 All-Second defensive teams. So he's been on 4 All-Defensive teams. And he led the league in steals in 2019, and he was also named the most improved player in the NBA in 2013. So he kind of had a similar rise to fame or to stardom like Pascal Siakam. Now, just the season before, when he was playing with the Oklahoma City Thunder, Paul George was one of the finalists for Defensive Player of the Year and MVP of the Year. That season in 2018-2019 with the Oklahoma City Thunder, Paul George was playing 37 minutes a game. He shot 44% from the field. He shot 38.6% from the three-point line, attempting 9.8 three-pointers a game, making 3.8. So that's a lot of three-pointers to attempt in a game. He shot 84% from the free throw line. He got you 8.2 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and 2.2 steals a game. And that season, watching Paul George's production on the court, a lot of people were saying that Paul George was the best player on the Oklahoma City Thunder when Russell Westbrook was there, and he had one stretch where he was just putting up video game numbers. Now, for this season with the LA Clippers, his production is dipped, but that has to do with a lot of things. He's playing 8 less minutes per game. He's playing 29.1 minutes per game. He's shooting 43.2% from the field. He's shooting 40% from the three-point line, 88% from the free throw line. He's getting you 5.7 rebounds and 3.9 assists and 1.3 steals per game. Now, a lot of that can be attributed to the fact that if you look at the dip in his numbers, it's because Paul George has been injured this season. He's had multiple setbacks. I think at one point he had a hamstring issue. Then in the offseason, he had shoulder surgery. So he's had to battle through some injuries. And he's only played 42 games this season for the LA Clippers, and he's trying to round himself back into shape. So looking at his production, obviously there's a dip. Now, if I'm going to directly address Kendrick Perkins' assertions that he would rather have Pascal Siakam over Paul George, I would have to say that I completely disagree with Kendrick Perkins. I would rather have Paul George than Pascal Siakam. For the first reason is Paul George is a better shooter, number one. Number two, Paul George can create his own offense much better because he's a better ball handler than Pascal Siakam. That's number two. Number three, Paul George was one of the leading candidates for regular season MVP last season. I have yet to see Pascal Siakam do that. Now, I'm not saying that Pascal Siakam can't do that. I'm not saying he's incapable of doing that. It's just that he hasn't done that yet. So until I see him show that he can sort of put out that level of production on a consistent basis, I'm not ready to put Pascal Siakam ahead of Paul George. Now, maybe Kendrick Perkins likes to do that, but Kendrick Perkins is beginning to be known for making some pretty hot takes as of recent. You know, he just recently released a comment saying that he thinks LeBron James is the GOAT, the greatest player off the court. I guess in a response to all of the conversation that surrounded the Last Dance documentary. But Kendrick Perkins is known to ruffle a few feathers, even with the statements that him and Kevin Durant, his former teammate, had a back and forth, I think on Twitter, on social media, whatever it is. So Kendrick Perkins is beginning to make a name for himself by giving some pretty hot takes. But in this case, I don't think he's, going left field with his comments. I just don't think that Pascal Siakam is better than Paul George. This is just my opinion. So what I want to know from you guys in the comment section below is, do you agree with Kendrick Perkins? Do you think that, would you rather have Pascal Siakam over Paul George, or would you rather have Paul George over Pascal Siakam? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when all of our newest and hottest content comes out. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace!